Cool. Hi, guys. Hi. I'm just going to open up Facebook here on my Apple. Come on. So I can see comments better because I can't see them coming through here. How's it going today? How is holiday going today? Bank holiday Friday. We have been in the Tribe of Traders. We've been going since 6 o'clock this morning. We started, found me. Glad you found me, Sarah. We started at 6 o'clock this morning. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? 6 o'clock this morning. But I was impressed that so many people were up on the webinar at 6 o'clock this morning. Anyway, how's your day going? Right, beautiful day, long weekend, and keeping fingers crossed for some good, maybe some good news on Sunday with Boris Johnson. We shall see. But what I want to talk about today is we've talked about quite a bit this week in the accelerator program, and that is goals, intentions, and achieving what you set out to achieve. And one of the big things that has come up for people is the afraid to start, not starting. Okay, so the way I see it is that we've had like just about 6 weeks or more of this time. Great opportunity to reevaluate. Okay, really amazing opportunity. And if you haven't taken the time to reevaluate yet, still not too late. Okay, it's still one still can do it. Okay, because you might have felt that this will pass quickly in 3 weeks, or this will, just ride it out. Well, I don't think we can ride it out anymore, and I don't think that is the wisest way in which to get through this time, is to ride it out. And I've spoken to a couple of people in the Tribe of Traders actually who had been doing that up until about 10 days ago, who have been trying to sort of just ride it out and realizing, well, they can't, because it's just going on for so long, and the world is going to be different when we get out the other end. It's not going to be better, it's not going to be worse, it's going to be different. So we need to adapt to that. Okay, so it's a really, really good time to reevaluate. If you haven't done it, now is a good time. And you might well find that, in actual fact, it's perfect. Everything is exactly as you would love it to be. But now's an opportunity just to double check. And one of the things that I said in the Facebook Live earlier this week as well is that look at each of the different 7 areas of life. Reevaluate in each of those areas, not just the areas that's most important to you, because it's important to be empowered in all areas of life, not just 2 or 3 or 4 that are most important to you. Okay, so reevaluate everything. Reevaluate financially where you're at. Where would you love to be? What is the gap? Now's a really good time to get clear on what will it take for you to be financially resilient. What is it that you would actually love to spend your time on? What would you love to get handsomely rewarded for doing what you love? What can you do? How can you transition into doing what you love from what you have been doing? How can you tweak what you're doing or have been doing to actually do it in a way that's doing what you love? I have one client. She's a yoga teacher. Amazing. And she's got 2 yoga studios. What an amazing story. And she's just joined the Tribe of Traders as well. And she has been a friend for a while. So she had 2 studios. Now, obviously, her income dried up overnight when this whole thing happened. And she's been sort of like toying with the idea with going online for about a year or maybe 18 months, but never did anything about it. Okay. You know that thing where you sort of have an intention, but never do anything about it? Well, that was her. And overnight, her income dried up. So she had no alternative but to stop procrastinating, stop frustrating about it, and say, okay, right, what can I do? And she could have succumbed and, just succumbed to the whole situation. But instead, she stepped up. she fell into that unique, well, it's not so unique, a lot of people did, that little space where she didn't qualify for grants and she didn't qualify for assistance from government for one reason or another. And she campaigned on behalf of herself and others and won. Okay, so she did really well. And in the meantime, whilst doing that, she took her business online. She was very lucky in that the one studio lease was expiring, so she negotiated an end to the lease, and the other one she negotiated half rental on the lease, and she took her clients online, and now she and all but 2 of her yoga teachers she's still employing, because the 2 who are not, it's not to her intention, they stopped. They didn't want to continue with doing yoga online, right? But all her other teachers, she's still paying them a salary. And now she's earning 5 to 6 or more £1,000 a month profit on her online business, having transitioned. And she's saying she's wanted to do that for so long because the headache of running a studio with all the bills and the insurances and the timetables, and it was just a lot. She was doing less of what she loved and more of what she didn't love in order to keep the business going. Now she gets to just do the whole thing online, arrange the timetable, and she gets to actually focus more on yoga, doing what it is she loves, and she gets paid for it. She's doing better now than she was for a hell of a long time. She's now got the headspace to start trading, something she started with a couple of years ago but didn't actually progress with. And she could see how amazing training could be. So, and now she's now got the time, the space, the headspace, and the financial resources to do it, to start it, and she has. And I think that's just amazing what you can do when you absolutely have to. But here's the thing: she could have done that at any time. She could have done that at any time. Of course, the global lockdown helped when people who love yoga, they couldn't physically they can't now physically go to the studio. That made it easier. But there was nothing stopping her starting that a year or so ago, because people do love yoga online. It's been done for a while. People really doing really well out of it. So now she's looking at, she's actually getting more people joining her yoga school than she ever had before. Whereas obviously, as you can imagine, being in a studio, she was limited by the people in her area. But now she's got people joining from all over the UK. She can even go broader than that. And now she's thinking about teacher training, yoga teacher training as well, which she's qualified to do, again, online. So it doesn't have to take a catastrophic situation in order for you to transition to doing what it is you truly love. But we don't do it because, and here's why we don't do it. This is very important. And this is something I said yesterday in the mastermind to one of the clients. Sarah, were you on that? No, you weren't. You weren't on it. This is one of the things that somebody said, is that they have a whole lot of things they would love to do. They've got a lot. They've got clear on the idea, clear on what it is they'd love to create in terms of their business, but it just keeps on not getting done. It keeps on staying on a to-do list, and the one thing that would stop it is that. And the analogy I used, here's the best analogy thing. Like, imagine you have to write an essay, and you've got a week to write an essay, and it has to be a 5,000-word essay on a topic. Might be a topic you love, right? But you're thinking about the essay, and you'll put off starting that essay forever and ever until the last minute, until like you have literally just minutes or hours to submit it for whatever reason, right? You'll put it off. Do you know why? Because you're thinking about the essay. Stop thinking about the output and start thinking about the bite-sized chunks, the steps that will make up the essay. So all your job is, your end result will be the essay. Don't focus on that. Remember, when the why is big enough, the how takes care of itself. So don't worry about that. when you've got the essay to write, don't think about the essay, the 5,000 word final, crafted, edited, grammatically corrected document. Okay, think about the first sentence. That's all it takes, is that first sentence. That's your job. That's all you need to do, is to think about, okay, I need to write the first sentence. Because it's very hard looking at a blank piece of paper. It's very hard looking at a project with all the component moving parts that you need to look at in order to get it done. It's too big. Okay, it's not possible to do that. It's way too big. We can't. There's too many what ifs. There's too many. I'm not clear about that. I don't know how to do that. Don't worry about that. That's not your job. Your job is to take the small steps. Remember, Darren Hardy says the small things done consistently over time that has the biggest impact. Okay, so your job in this scenario is to write the first sentence. That is it, and that anyone can do. Even if it's a sentence we rewrite later, but to write that first sentence. Then the next job is to write the next sentence. The next job is to write the first paragraph, which is what, 5 or 6 sentences. So you break it down. And this is why so often goals are not achieved, because they're massive thing. You want to lose 3 stone. You want to make £5 million. You want to create a business serving 100 people. You want to get into property, flipping properties. You want to get rental properties. Whatever that might be, that you're thinking of the end goal, sure, have clarity on the end goal. But if you can't reverse engineer it down to the smallest, tiniest little bite-sized chunks, then nothing happens. Okay, and that is why we procrastinate, frustrate, and hesitate, and procrastinate and not get things done. That's why that will stop us transitioning. When you know what it is you would love to do, but it's a scary jump from where you are now to where you would actually love to be. So how do you transition? That transition is not planned. You're not going to jump from one to the other. So when I say reevaluate your life, if there's any area of life you would love to develop on or change or grow, all right, be clear about that. So how are you going to get to where you are now to where you would love to be? Build a bridge to that. And that bridge, you break it down into the smallest component parts. I remember the first time I ever bought property, I call myself a property slut. Okay, I just absolutely bloody love property. Okay, I love it. I've bought property all over the world. Probably 90% of the properties I've bought, I've not ever seen, ever. And like, I knew I wanted to get into property. This is going back many years now, but over the past, when did I? Almost 20 years ago. I never bought property before. So what did I do? I didn't study books, believe it or not. I did not get books on property buying. I did not buy or study books. I didn't buy courses on buying property, flipping property, or leveraging on property. None of that. I basically just studied property papers. You know, you get I don't know if it's the same in this country, but you get property magazines and property companies, property sections in the newspapers. I would study those for weeks, months. What property is going? What's the price? Where's the property selling? What's the area doing? I would break it down. I would get really comfortable with the area, really comfortable with what property is moving and who the target market is in that area. Just studying the newspapers, and I would read it for hours. That was my first step. And then it became second nature. I would be able to spot good property deals so quickly. It was just breaking it down to the smallest. So like, I had an intention that I wanted like multiple properties. I wanted to make millions out of properties, and I did. But it started with just reading property papers. like literally, Tiny be asleep next to me on a Sunday night or a Saturday night. He'd be asleep and I'd have the paper over and I'd be reading it. And sometimes I'd read the same property paper 3, 4, 5 times. And that was a small step that led me to the massive property. I don't know what it was. It's not a business. It was more of a passion. So that's what led it. That's an important small step. So that makes sense. So it's like writing an essay. When you think about the essay, that can be off-putting. Break it down to its smallest component parts. So it's a sentence. That's all you need to do, is just write a sentence. Then your next job is to write another sentence. Next job, another sentence. The next thing you have is a paragraph. Okay, it doesn't matter that you need to rewrite it, but you've started the steps in the right direction. Does that make sense? And if there's a goal you have, and if you look back over your life, look at goals you've had, and have you achieved them or not? What has stopped you achieving them? Can you see that possibly what stopped you achieving them was that you didn't break it down into the smallest component parts? If you want to lose 3 stone, for example, that's a lot. How do you get to from where you are now with your lifestyle right now, whether it's that you don't eat right or you don't exercise or a combination of both or medical issues or injuries, whatever it might be? How do you get from where you are now to losing 3 stone? That's a massive jump. And sometimes, just like my yoga friend, it takes a catastrophic situation for it to change. Like, for example, a doctor might say to you, listen, you don't get fit, you're going to have diabetes, for example. That's going to be enough of a shock to the system to make sure you do it. Okay, for example. It doesn't have to be like that. That's the point I'm trying to make. It absolutely does not have to be like that. It's as simple as breaking it down. Breaking it down to the small steps. So this is my life right now. That's what I would love to get to. Be very, very clear on that. So how do I start that journey now? It's about the ounce. I'm not used to stone, so I'm used to more kilos, but in the UK I know it's stone based. So is it pounds and ounces? Then it's about, okay, this week I'll lose, I don't know, a pound, right? And then how are you going to lose that pound? Well, I'll walk for 20 minutes every day. It's for the week. And you review it and you start building on that. You just break it down to the smallest component parts. The same with business. How am I going to get to 5 million? Reverse engineer it. If you have a financial goal, you need to be able to break it down. So, for example, in your business, how many clients do you need? How many products do you need? Look at your business, right? If you've got a goal, you want 5 million, over how long? Be clear about the time. So about 5 years. Yeah, that's the journey in the tribe of traders. We say 5 years to get financially secure. What is your number? What is your number? It's a financial security number. What is your number? It's a very unique number to every single one of us. Okay, and if you did the 3-day accelerator program, you'd have an idea of what that number is. That's a small part of the overall program I do with guys. So you'll have a number, reverse engineer it. So in your business right now, if you want to continue your current business, what products do you have? How many people do you need? How many clients do you need? How many of each of the products do you need to sell? Have a plan. I'm going to sell that product to that many people, this product to this many people, over how long? Have a target, 6 months target to do that, and then increase that for the next 6 months by 10%, and increase that number by another 10%, and then before long, small things done consistently over time, you have an exponential compounding effect. 5 years will come, and they will have financial security. It's about being able to break it down to the smallest component parts. Does that make sense? And that's why when you set an intention to achieve something, make sure you're able to take the steps. If you're hesitating, there's 2 problems. You're hesitating, frustrating, or procrastinating on it. There's 2 issues. One, it's not really what you would love to do. You think you should be doing it. And if it's on your list for more than 5, 6, 7 days, get rid of it or delegate it. Or is it that it's too big and you can't actually start? And if it is, you'll be able to break it down to smaller component parts. And then you'll be inspired to take the action. It's when you're able to focus 80% of your day on high priority actions. The more of your day needs to be focused on high priority actions. And if you're not focused on high priority actions, low priority shit gets in your way. And you don't achieve a goal by every day having low priority shit fill your day. Okay. All right. Any questions? I'm with you now. You with me now as in you understand what I'm saying, Julie? Or are you with me now in that you're on the live now? I'm not sure. So, morning, Sandy. Jackie found me. Okay, cool. All right. Any other questions? Or are there any questions on that? It's really important. I really, really, really want you to embrace what I'm saying here. It changes everything, changes your life, changes so much. And now's a great time to do it. Start planning now. It's a really good time. All right, guys. I shall love and leave you. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful day. A lot to celebrate. Good day to look back and see what you're really grateful for as well. So really special day. And have a fantastic weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.